How's it going, everyone? I'm your host, Eagle from Ghost CMC. Surprise, surprise, I didn't put a meme here because it kind of got repetitive.
Rick Harrison, and this.
So, today is Tuesday and not meme day. Meme day is gonna be Monday, yeah. So expect a few memes, like a funny video every Monday. But today we're gonna talk about a topic I wanted to talk about long ago, but I didn't get the time to, as you all know. And based on popular request, what do I think of Call of Duty World War II? To start off, the trailer was amazing. I gotta give him that. The trailer was breathtaking. The graphics look amazing. The movement, everything in the game just looks amazing. Now, I got some in-depth look at the game, some of like the multiplayer gameplay. I've seen some of the features of the game. I've got to say, this game is what will take Call of Duty to the next level. You know, every Call of Duty game that comes out, like every few Call of Duties, there's this one Call of Duty that comes out and that either pushes the franchise up or pushes it down. So let's take, for example, COD 4. So in previous Call of Duties, before Call of Duty 4, you would use a preset class. Then came Call of Duty 4, changed the whole thing. Then World at War did that. And then a few games followed the same concept, you know what I mean? Every game adds up and like makes a new season or a new generation of Call of Duty. Just like Advanced Warfare brought us exosuits. Sadly, people didn't like them, but it wasn't really that bad, to be honest. But they brought us exosuits, they brought us supply drops, and as you see, it spawned like 2 sequels if you want. It spawned like 2 games with supply drops with advanced movement. Like whether we like it or not, that's really about what you guys think. It's not for me to judge. Personally, I didn't mind it. Sometimes I didn't, sometimes I did. But it's Call of Duty in the end. If you're getting killed, you're gonna be pissed off and cuss at the game. And if you're winning, well, you'll be praising the game. Call of Duty, best game ever. Like some of the new features I've seen, like equipping a silencer whenever you want. That was on the grease gun on one of the gameplays. That's dope. You know what I mean? I don't have to run around with a silencer that like kills my weapon for the whole game just to use it in a certain section. I can just put it away. Then whenever I need it, whenever I want to sneak, whenever I want to flank, well, I have the silencer. That is awesome. Another good feature I saw is the scope thing. Now, it mixed between the old Call of Duties and the new Call of Duties. You see, the old Call of Duties, when you scope down a sniper rifle with a telescope, you have this like the reticle, you know, the circle thing, and the scope, and then you have all black around it. And in newer Call of Duties, you would see the whole scope thing, and then you would see what's next to the scope. You won't see all black. You will see blurry, but like kind of like a blurry version of what you are next to, what you see. You know what I mean? Just like games like Insurgency, for example, things like that. Now, Call of Duty World War II mixed that up, so they added like when you're not holding breath and focusing, you see everything around you. Like it's like you're looking through the scope. You know what I mean? It's like you're looking. There's the scope in front of you, and there's everything else next to you. And then when you focus and hold your breath, everything goes to black, and you can focus more on the target instead of focusing on what's going on around, which is amazing for the snipers for this year. I really look forward to playing this game and trying to snipe from the first game. Remember me, guys, I will do it. It has some awesome kill streaks, and overall the game is awesome. At least we got some gore, which we didn't see in a while. Like we've seen it briefly in Black Ops 3, but this one is violent as hell, and I love that. But one thing I wanted to point out about World War II, where are the Russians? Yeah, not those Russians, those Russians. It's a World War II game. The Soviet Union played a major part on the Eastern Front of the World War II era. Now you might say, it's alright, well, they can make a game about the Western Allies without adding the Soviet Union to it. No, I'm not against that. Listen up, I'm not against making a game like that. We've seen that before. But you know, campaign reflects on multiplayer. Unless they make another system, I don't think we'll be seeing the Soviets in the multiplayer anytime soon. And that, my friends, will kill off some of the best aspects of a World War II game. Starting from the best weapons like the PPSH, which is an iconic weapon in Call of Duty, to the Mosin Nagant, one of the most powerful, one of the most rifles with like stopping power in Call of Duty. Things like that are gone. Things like Soviets, like the voice acting, everything that gives a taste to being a Soviet in the multiplayer is gone. Unless, and I hope that doesn't happen, and I hope it does happen in a way, unless they do like Battlefield 1 did. Like you see, Battlefield 1 kept the core factions without France and Russia, which were added in DLCs like after the game's release, or paid DLCs. They added factions, maps, and weapons for those factions. I don't know if the Call of Duty is gonna go down this path. It looks clear that it will, unless they don't want to add the Russians at all in the game. They can just do that. They won't do that actually. But I just hope they don't add the Russians. You know what I mean? The Soviet faction and weapons and maps and supply drops. Yeah, open up maps and soldiers and weapons. Most importantly, multiplayer voices. I just hope. I'm just kidding. Of course they won't do that. I don't think that's possible anyway. But I do hope they give us an expansion about that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna buy the season pass this year, and I'm gonna cover the whole game, starting from day one and right until the end of the cycle. I'm gonna be focusing on this game because I love World War II. But I just hope they fix that issue, because the first thing I looked at when I saw the games, the first thing I asked was where the Soviet Union is. Like, really. So far we know that we'll be playing as the Western Allies against the Nazis. That's all we know, really. And one more thing. I heard they were censoring the swastika of multiplayer. And Michael Condrey actually talked about that. And I didn't know, man. Like he said, multiplayer is like where we all come together to play. It's an open community. It's not a racist community. You know what I mean? It's still a campaign. I mean, it's acceptable to do that, since multiplayer is like this free land, because multiplayer has no ties to real life at all. We all know that. There's no one that goes around quick scopes in real life. You know what I mean? The multiplayer doesn't have anything to do with realism, in Call of Duty at least. You know what I mean? So it's fair enough to add some stuff that kind of make the game unrealistic. But then again, Nazis. I mean, they're the worst people in history. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, you can't put an all white, all fascist stuff in multiplayer, and like, you know, it happened before in gaming. You know what I mean? It happened before, and people were pissed off. Just like what happened in Medal of Honor, like the remaster, where not the remaster, the remake by EA, 2010, when soldiers, like the multiplayer guys, were forced to play as insurgents to kill off U.S. military, which is scummy, to be honest, because I don't want to be a goat fucker killing off good guys in games. But that's really the thing. They need to make the multiplayer playable for everyone. Men, women, black, yellow, white, anything, any nationality, any race. They need to be able to play the game freely without being offended, which is great. So I can't wait for Call of Duty World War II. I'm gonna try to get it as soon as it comes out, and I'll be covering it on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So stay tuned for that. Ghost PMC has been growing fast lately, and I really appreciate that. I hope this video carries on the legacy of the previous video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed, please slap a like on it and subscribe to Ghost PMC. We have some associated channels which will be in the description below. And as always, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comment. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comment. We'll make sure to read every comment. Follow me on Twitter at GhostEagle141. And stay tuned for more. Amigo.